not disturb.
Oh,
Oh, we're
and
live.
we're live.
And we're live. Hello,
So please do
everyone.
not disturb.
Yes, do put yourselves on Do Not Disturb. Right, welcome everybody to this week's live. As you know by now, if you watch us on a regular basis, we have a little bit of admin bits to do. Oh no, God, I can hear myself. I can hear myself in the phone. Cringe. Right,
One job every single week. It's the same job.
I know it's the same thing, and you'd think I'd know how to do it. Oh, it's not letting me do it.
Just bear with us while we have technical difficulties again.
In all honesty, I feel like Darren cuts them out. So
do you need me to share it into the group?
No, I just can't do the followers for some reason. I can do highlights, but I can't do followers. We only have to do this so that people know that we're in here. Otherwise, it's unfair and people don't get to know where we are and what we're talking about. So, right, I've done that. I've done the group. I just haven't done the other one. Right. Welcome everyone to this week's live. My name is Vicky. This is Lee, my handsome business partner, and we run the Pet Accountant, which is a pet accountant. Blah, 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 get my tongue in. An accountancy firm that dedicates themselves to pet businesses all across the UK. I feel like we need that to be an intro, so that I don't have to keep saying it. Yes, we are actual accountants. We do accountancy stuff because I know some people still put it in the group. So what we do every week is come on and talk to you about a specific topic to help you guys when you come to doing your own finances or your tax return, or just general help when running your business. So this week, it's gone.
Ooh. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to surprise everybody.
Now you can see that I've looked like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards because I decided to cycle to work in the rain, which is never a good idea. But yeah, so this week, well, if you were listening last week, we did talk to you about a fancy thing that Lee was going to put together, which he has managed to do since last week, which is our tax and pricing calculator. So one of the reasons why we've done this is because we get a lot of questions to us from clients, emailed in, messaged in, we see it on all the groups, is how much tax do I need to save every month? Or how much should I be putting away? How much is my tax bill going to be? Obviously quite valid questions. And generally without us having seen your figures, it's very hard for us to give you a figure. So we just generally say, I don't know, 30% it'll probably do. But obviously that doesn't help you guys because you want to know how much to put through every month. So to combat that issue, part of the calculator is to give you a rough estimate. It's pretty accurate, but I would say rough.
It's pretty bloody damn accurate, as long as the figures that you put into it are also accurate.
Yes, it was also down to the person putting the numbers in as well as what the calculator will produce. But it is pretty bob on as to how much tax you're going to have to pay and what to put away every month. So that is one half of it, which is going to solve all of your issues. You can use it year on, year out, so you don't have to purchase it every year. Once you've got it once, then you can have it. It's only 15 quid. It's an allowable business expense. So for the sake of 15 quid, it's a no-brainer really in itself. The other half of the calculator is to work out how much to charge to get your desired income. So if you want, let's just say I want to earn 30 grand, you could put 30 grand in and it will tell you, break down what you need to make each month, each day, each week.
We come at this at a very different aspect because I know you're more hung up on the tax side of things, of what it'll work out.
I don't care about the rest. I just care about the tax.
For me, the fact that it works out how much I need to charge per dog or per hour is the game changer for me, because that allows a business owner to think, right, I've got 6 dogs in a day. I work 4 days a week. What realistically do I need to be charging to make the 30 grand a year on top of my expenses? And it comes back, it throws a figure at you. And as long as you charge on average that price per dog, per groom, per walk, then you will achieve your desired income at the back end. And then the calculator tells you how much tax you need to put away for that level of earnings. And what's great about it is you can tweak it throughout the year to work out actually where you're going to end up and look at how much tax you do have to save or you don't have to save. So me and Vic's like both excited over this, but from two very different aspects of it.
I mean, the tax side in itself, like we get asked so many times, you know, what do I need to save for tax? And it's, you know, it's something that you need to know because it's something that no one ever really gets right. And when we come to doing the tax return, it's like, oh crap, I've not saved enough. Like, I wish I'd known how much to put away every month so that I've got enough to cover it and it's less stressful. So that is sort of my idea coming into this calculator, was to get that aspect in, because it is going to help you and it's going to make things less stressful ultimately, because you'll know how much to put away rather than it being a guessing game. We've got people saying, is it still 1 o'clock? Are we not showing in the group?
I don't know. Did you share it in the group?
I did, yeah. Oh no, maybe I didn't. Shit.
No.
I knew I was
Bear with me a second. I'm going to share it in the group.
I knew I was missing
shared it in the group.
I felt like I'd missed a step, and that was definitely the biggest step. Like, are we still on? Like, yeah, we're there.
The watchers has just jumped up massively.
Yeah. Right, guys, we're going to have to start again. You know, I apologise because technology isn't my strong point, hence why I couldn't make this. I have the idea, but just can't implement any of it. But basically, if you're joining us, hello from the group. Again, I don't want to go back over all of it, but basically, we've introduced this tax and pricing calculator to help you save up your tax, know how much to put away, and also how much to charge per dog to get your desired outcome, whatever that may be. Yeah. So rather than us just rattling through and telling you how good it is, we're going to give you a demo to show you what you need to do and how it works, and obviously the premise behind it. So if you're one of those people that has that question, how much tax do I need to put away every month, then this is going to solve your issue. If you're that person that says, I don't know how much on average I should be charging per dog, this is going to solve that issue. So it's kind of two issues combined into one. And like I said at the beginning, you don't need to buy this every year. It's only 15 quid. You can buy it off the website. We'll put a link on the group.
It's because it works out the calculate based on the tax and national insurance, and that is tied into the financial years. If there is a change with regards to those rates, then we will have to launch a new one, which will probably introduce upgraded features with it as well. Then, yes. So it will last at least for the next 12 to 24 months, but it's 15 quid at the end of the day. It's not going to break the bank, and if you use it regularly, it can transform your business because it empowers you with the knowledge of what to charge per hour, what to charge per dog, how much tax to save each week, each month, so that and it allows you to work out how much you want to earn every single year after you've paid all your business expenses. So we'll go through it, and I'm going to show you how easy it is and just how useful it can be.
Right, go on, go for
it. We're ready, yeah? Brilliant.
Ready.
Okay, brilliant. Right, so whenever you first open this up, you're going to land on your dashboard, which is what you see in front of you at the moment.
Can you make that bigger so it gets rid of our heads?
Yeah, can do. There we go.
Just send it bigger for people.
Yeah, so what we have is the dashboard. There's not much on there at the moment because we haven't started filling in the forms and the tabs that's on there. So I'm going to come back to the dashboard after we've started loading some data in to show you in real time how it's going to be calculating the tax and your hourly target charge as well. So the first tab that we're going to go to is about you and your business. Now, this is what makes us a little bit different from the other calculators that you can find out there, because this allows you to drill down into your specific patterns, the number of dogs that you can groom. And this also works as well if you have members of staff, because the members of staff that you have are a business expense. So you input into this the total number of dogs and your total working hours that you as a business would literally be grooming or dog walking. So it works for both groomers and walkers. So the first thing we're going to do, it also works for trainers as well. I have to say that it works for trainers as well. So the first thing we're going to do is pick our terminology. And we've got the choice of dog walker, dog groomer, and the one that's currently on sale also has one for a dog trainer as well. So in this instance, we're going to go for a dog groomer. What that does is it actually changes the text here so that it makes it a little bit better to read. So average number of grooms. If I change that to dog walker, it says average number of walks. So it just personalizes the layout to what it is that your business does, so that when it asks you questions, it's a little bit more familiar. So we'll change that back to dog groomer. So the first thing we're going to look at is the daily hours that you're working or that you're physically open. So certainly if you're a grooming salon, you might have set hours a day. And I could say, right, on a Monday, I do 8 hours. Tuesday, I do 8 hours. I do 4 hours on a Wednesday because I do a half day. I do 8 hours Thursday, 8 hours Friday. But my weekends, I like them to be closed. So all I'm going to do is just write closed in the boxes. What that's done is that's totaled up my working hours for the week that says on a normal Monday to Friday, I'm going to work 36 hours. Now what I'm going to do is tell it how many grooms on average I can do as a business during those opening hours. So for argument's sake, if I work 8 hours, I might do six grooms on the Monday. I might do 7 grooms in on a Tuesday because I've got a smaller dog, a little bit easier. On the Wednesday, I'm only going to work 4 hours. I can get 3 dogs in. On Thursday, 5 dogs, a little bit bigger, going to take me a little bit longer. And then that was the Thursday. And then on the Friday, we'll go back in with 6 again. Remember, we're closed on the Saturday and the Sunday. So that's worked out on average. I'm going to do 27 grooms a week for those working hours. Now, the next question that I've got here is it's asking me, and I'm only filling in the pinky sort of peachy color boxes. So anything that's green, you can ignore because it's automatically calculated. So you're only looking to fill in the peach color boxes. So my business days that I'm closed. So this is asking me how many days holiday I'm going to take as a year that I'm going to close the business. Now, it's business days, so you would kind of ignore weekends if you don't open weekends. If you only work 5 days a week, or 4 days a week, you're only interested in the days that you would typically be open. So I'm going to take 3 weeks in total, which is equivalent to 15 days if I work 5 days a week. Now, what that's done is it's worked out for me that my total working days for the year is 246. My total yearly hours that I'm going to work is 1770. And the total grooms that I'm able to do in the time that I'm open is 1,409 grooms. So next, the magic bit. I'm going to ask now about how much I would like to earn from my business after I've paid all of my expenses. So I'm going to say on a week, because some people work it out weekly, you can do weekly, you can work it out by month, or you can tell it how much per year that you want. But I'm going to say on a weekly basis, I want £500 a week. Right? So £500 a week will give me £26,000 as a yearly salary. I can change that to, if I want to, it's broken. If I want to go per month and I said, right, I want to earn £2,500 a month. It now calculates how much that is per week, how much it is per month, and how much it is per year for you. So that's going to give me £30,000 a year. At the bottom here, if I have other employment, say for argument's sake, if I'm doing this part-time and I've got another job, I can enter in here my gross pay to date and the tax that it's taken off me already that I can. So I'd use my pay slip. When I get my pay slip every month, I would update that. And if I've had £1,200 so far and I've paid £58 in tax, then next month when I get that pay slip again, I would increase the £1,200 to next month's pay and with the amount of tax that I've paid off my pay slip. If we then go back to our dashboard, what's now happened is that it's calculated that based on just my salary at the moment, it's giving me an hourly charge and the amount that I need to charge. So it's already starting to do some calculations, but it's not quite correct just yet because we have to add in the business expenses because they're going to be things that are going to be coming out of your income from your business. So then what we do is we just pop ourselves to the business income tab. The business income tab is what we're going to record the income that we physically receive as it happens at the end of each month going forward. So we're going to come back to that because at the moment we're interested in the expenses side of things.
just hang on a sec, just for those of you who can't see it and who may be listening in on the podcast, this layout was basically on an Excel spreadsheet with the different tabs at the bottom. Some bits will be locked so that you can't put any figures in so that you don't mess it up.
If it doesn't allow you to click into it, you physically can't click it, touch it, move it.
Yeah.
So you can only click the cells.
It's based on an Excel spreadsheet. It doesn't work on numbers for the Mac, does it?
No. It works on the Excel iPad app, and it also works. Yeah, so it works on the desktop and on the iPad side as long as you've got Excel. It will work on a Mac as long as you've got Excel on the Mac.
Okay, so there's different tabs. There's a dashboard tab, about you and your business tab, a business income tab, and a business expenses tab. And also, so that you don't have to watch this if you do buy it, there is an instructions tab on there as well, which will tell you what to put in each box and what each box is for as well. Yes. But we thought we'd better to give a live demo just so that you can get an idea of what it is and how it works.
Yeah. So going back then, so the only thing that I'm interested in at the moment is if this is at the start of the year, and I'm trying to work out what I need to charge per hour per dog. In the purple box, I need to enter my anticipated annual spend for each of the categories. So for argument's sake, I might spend £2,500 in shampoo. I might spend another £1,500 on consumables. There's a little bit of table rent in there, so I need to put some money in for table rent. Then there might be some credit card terminal fees. I might need to do some scissor sharpening and repairs for the year. I might need to buy some new grooming equipment, so I'll put a little bit of money in there for some, replacement scissor set or a new table. If I pick dogs up and drop them off, I might need to put some money in there for the yearly mileage. Basically, you work yourself down that list, anticipating what you're going to spend on a yearly basis on each of those categories. If there's something in there that you need to add that's not already in the list, you can add it at the bottom here. Now, this part's a little bit more difficult for me because I thought about the list, so I can't think of anything that I haven't put in. I don't know. I'm assuming I haven't put accommodation in because you're going to spend some time at Crufts, for argument's sake. So you might want to put some money in for accommodation at Crufts.
Oh, shit, it was 250 quid.
I know. By filling in that purple box and in the About You tab, the system now has enough information to give you what you should be charging per hour or per dog, depending on the things that you've entered. So I am projected to turn over £40,900 a year. Of that, I need to generate £166.34 a day from the sales, from grooming the dogs, from walking the dogs. So that's your personal daily target. Of that, I must charge at least £23.10 per hour for every hour that I work. And for every dog, on average, I have to charge a minimum of £29.03. And as long as I do that, I have enough money to give me the £30,000 earning that I wanted to earn from my business in the year. Now, as we've filled those in, we now have the estimated tax, which is the bit that Vic likes. So what it says is that from all of the things that we've entered, the anticipated costs of your business, we're going to need £40,900 of sales. Less the business expenses, which is the total of all of the purple box that I've just entered, which leaves me with £30,000, which is the wage that I wanted from the business. That's the money that I wanted to take for me personally. I've got my £1,500 from my other employment that I entered as well from my other job. So in total, I need the total taxable income of £31,500. I've got my personal allowance, which I'm allowed to take off that. So I'm not going to pay any tax on the first £12,570. And of that, I'm going to pay £3,786 in income tax. I'm going to pay £1,045.80 in national insurance contributions. And I've already paid £100 because that was taken off from my payroll job, from what I was employed with. So my total tax on £30,000 is going to be £4,731.80. And I need to save £92.92 a week or £402.65 a month to make sure I have enough to cover my tax bill at the year end. Now, that's great because it gives you something to set out with, and you know at the beginning of the year, right, that's how much I need to save every week, every month to cover that tax bill. But what's great about this little calculator that we've built is that it also allows you to work out that if you was to cease trading today, where your tax liability would lie at this very point in time. Now, to get that to work, all I do is go back to my business expenses tab. And as the months progress, so at the end of the month in April, I spent £125 on shampoo. I spent £50 in May. I didn't spend anything in June because I had some left over. Yes, Vic?
So if someone bought this now, they could then take this expenses bit and fill in for April, May, June, July, and August what they've spent so far.
Yes.
They don't, obviously, because the purple one you would do at the beginning of the tax year.
Correct.
Yeah. Just so if anyone was wondering. So you'd get this, you'd ignore the purple bit for now and obviously fill in how much you've actually spent on those amounts and fill it in as you go.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, to be fair with yourself, you don't have to fill it in month by month. The month by month, there's a bit on the dashboard that will show you your incoming and your outgoing. So if you're interested in your spending habit, whether you're spending too much money for the money that's coming through the doors, fill it in month by month.
Yeah.
However, if you want to catch up with things and you've got bookkeeping software and it's going to give you a total up to today's date or up until the end of July, you can actually just enter. So terminal fee charges from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, 450 quid. You can just put that in as a whole figure. And you would just do that for all of your expenses. And then you just pop yourself into the business income tab and you would literally do the same for sales. Now, if I want to do 40,900, divide that by 12. So I need to earn 3,500, 3,600, 3,420, 3,584, and then 4,510. So you just enter how much money per month that you physically generated in sales across the board. And you can add different streams as well. So you might have grooms, you might have product sales, and you can start adding those in. So it's a way of you tracking, again, your different income streams. If I go back to my dashboard, what you can now see is the blue bar represents the income. The orange bars represent the expenses. So as long as the blue bars are higher than the orange bars, then you're taking more money than you're spending, which is always a good business sense to do. But the great thing is the current year profit tells you exactly how much profit you've made to date, which is your income less your expenses. But it also says that based on your current profits, you're only going to pay £1,004.44 in tax if you was to cease trading today. So by the end of the year, if you made £40,900, let me just delete those out. And we're going to say £40,900. And we go back to it, you'll notice that there's a slight difference on the calculations. And the reason for the difference is because we haven't put our expenses in there. What we've got at the moment is we've made 40,900, but our profits is 37,000, not the 30 that we needed. So if we go back to the business expenses and just scroll down 10,900. So I spent 10,900 in its entirety over the year for the expenses. I pop back to myself, and there we can see if I made the target and I hit the target exactly, the total tax I'm going to pay is 473,180, which is the same as the estimated would have been had we done everything right and down to the book and charged what I should have done. Remember, the more you charge per hour, the more you charge per dog, the more you will end up taking home. But you will end up paying a little bit more tax. But this tells you exactly where you're going to be paying tax and how much you're going to be paying tax on. The instruction tab it literally breaks up for you exactly what each tab is, what each box is, what to put in each box, how to fill each box in, so that it walks you all through it. And then
I can use it, anyone can use it, because as we found out at the start of this, technology is not my strong point. So I'm the tester of these things, and if I can pass and use it, then we're all good. We're all good. We can use it. So we've had a few questions. Obviously, guys, if you've got any questions about the calculator or pricing or tax or just any question in general whilst we're here, then we're more than happy to answer it. So just pop it in the comments. Don't be shy. We'll happily help wherever we can. So here we go. Is this a standalone or can you use it through your Xero? We've had this quite a bit, actually, this question.
Yeah. So this is a standalone Excel spreadsheet that's independent to your bookkeeping software. But what you can do is you can take your figures from your bookkeeping software as a whole. So you basically run a profit and loss report in the software to the end of last month and just take the figures from the profit and loss side and enter them into this spreadsheet. And that will give you all of those metrics that we've just discussed. So it'll tell you the tax. It will tell you the your price per dog. It will tell you your hourly rate. Now, the only thing I would say is the calculator. I tried to make the calculator as easy and as basic as possible. So it does mean that it can't computate difficult tax situations. So if you were to buy assets, for argument's sake, maybe you've invested in a van, maybe you've got expensive grooming equipment. Now, when we look at your hourly charge out rates, as accountants, we don't include those type of purchases in with the profit and loss to start with anyway, because they sit in a separate area of your accounts. So they will reduce your tax bill, but they do it in the background of your self-assessment. So when you look at this calculator, it will give you a tax figure. But if you have bought assets like that, your tax will generally be lower because we have to deal with them separately anyway. So this is designed for somebody with a simple tax situation. So if you've got capital gains, if you sold a property, if you've got property rentals, those type of things, it won't be able to give you the correct tax figure unless you've just got a simple employment and a sole trade business as well.
Fabulous.
So then we've got this one.
Are you doing it and I'm doing it at the same time? Stop it! Is this still useful if you have a sole trader package with you guys?
Absolutely it is. And the reasons, Helen, is I say that is because our packages are based around us doing the bookkeeping, making sure that the figures are correct, claiming what we can, doing your tax returns, having checkup calls with yourself. What this does is it empowers you to work out what your hourly charge needs to be, and you can tweak that. So it's more like your front end side of things. You can then start to see, you can have chats with your bookkeepers whilst you're on the package to say, I've worked out that, I need to put my prices up. Can you help me with the emails to what I would say to my clients, or what are my expenses for the month, for argument's sake? Can you get me the profit and loss report so I can take those figures and work out what I need to change or what I need to charge per hour or per dog? So it kind of works in hand, but it allows you to do things on your own and to check at any stage if you're on target, off target, or what you need to save. So I would say it's for 15 quid, it's worth the investment.
Would this work for daycare, home boarding?
I've had these questions a couple of times, and as it stands at the moment, I don't think that it would. And the only reason being is that it works on the metrics that we use is per dog and per hour. If you're home boarding, what I couldn't work out of how to put into the spreadsheet is how you would tell it how many hours that you're open in order for it to throw back a figure to say, right, well, because technically you're open 24 hours a day if you're home boarding because the dogs stay. But if you
could do it per dog though.
You could do it per dog, yes, because you would just ignore the opening hours.
Yeah.
It wouldn't give you an hourly rate to charge, but it would give you a per dog to charge, yes.
Yeah.
So it would work. but just not all of it be relevant. Yeah.
We're not going to lie to him, like, yeah, go and get it for home boarders. We'll always be honest. Like, it will sort of work to an extent, but not as much as the others. And that, like Lee said, we can only do so much in a spreadsheet. It'll only allow us to do so much.
Yeah. The technical part for us that we found difficult was if you're a home boarder and dog walker. Because it works very well for the dog walking side. You can't, it's like two different businesses that measure differently the metrics. So it wouldn't work in that instance. But if you are just a home boarder and you want it per dog, then absolutely it would.
Fabulous. Message from Jackie, could I use this for my barbering business? I'm sure I could adapt it. I only work with dogs on an ad hoc emergency care basis, so they are my second job. So
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, because it's designed to work per dog anyway. As long as you enter the income, maybe in the employed bit from your second side, it should be able to calculate the tax for you, and then how much tax you've paid from your other side of things. So for barbers, grooming, anywhere where the metric is a single dog, where we can bring it back to the number of dogs or dogs or people, then absolutely it will. Yes. Yes.
Stephen B has been a bit cheeky. Would be pretty neat to have this included in the quarterly performance pack. How much do you want, Stephen?
The thing is, the quarterly performance packs are designed to tell you how much money you're making, down to the pound, how much profits in the pound. So that's all geared around your bookkeeping side and your financial side. The problem that we have with this is that there'll be things on there that we don't know, that we're unable to put into the software. And that's going to be the number of dogs that you groom on a day-to-day basis. Hours that you're open. It's going to be the amount that you want at the end of the year to take home. So because there's all those bits and pieces, and you might find that you start the year saying, right, I want 30,000. Things are going really well. You might think, you know what, I'm going to up this. I'm going to try and smash 40,000. Yeah. And the idea is it's there to aid you to grow your business and grow your take home. So it's there as a hand-holding exercise, something that you can refer back to that gives you guidance and confidence to say, no, I want an average of £55 per dog that I groom or board or walk or whatever it is that you do.
But like Lee said, Stephen, if you need any information from the bookkeepers in order to fill those other bits in, then obviously by all means just ask them and they can give you that information. That's not an issue.
And you can take that information from those quarterly reports. So actually we put that information in the quarterly performance packs. So when you get that, you can actually go back and fill 3 months of this tracker in from that one single report that you get.
There you go. If anyone's wondering what performance pack is, we give these to our self-assessment clients at the end of the year to see how their year has been, and also on our all-in-one packages. You get a performance pack every 3 months to see how your business is performing, funnily enough, and how much profit you're making. It's all in bar chart graphs. It's very easy to read, and that's what we do, and we include it in that. So it's easier than just giving you a page full of numbers that no one actually knows how to read. Right. So good try though, Stephen. I like it. It's only 15 quid. Stop being stingy. Right, another question from Dawn. Hiya, not watched it all, so I'm not sure if I've missed it. Does this also calculate the estimated tax for the next year? As I will be paying 24-25 tax in April, then half of the estimate. Oh, so she's on about payments on account.
Payments on account. Okay, so in short, Dawn, the answer was no. I thought about putting it in, but the problem that I encountered is that some people have started on payments on account, other people haven't, and because some people pay their payment on account and then some people fall behind, there was no way that I could do it and keep it simple in order for it to throw back the figures that would be due. But what this does allow is that if you're on your payments on account, it calculates the tax for the year. So you can work out the 2 payments that you've already made in the year, and then you take the difference, which is your balancing payment,
Yeah.
And then it's half of the tax figure that this is calculated for you.
Yeah.
That becomes your first payment on account next year.
So if your tax is £4,000, you know that your payments on account are going to be £2,000 and £2,000 because they half it. Half is paid in January, half is paid in July. So although it doesn't physically show you what it is, you can easily work it out anyway by just dividing it by 2 and go, right, well, actually, my tax is £4,000. I know I'm going to have my first payment on account, which is £2,000. So I know my tax is going to be £6,000.
Yeah.
So it's easily worked out. As I say, some things are just too tricky to put on. The
idea was to try and keep this as simple as possible, so to make it easier for the masses to use. And I mean, I didn't count the amount of boxes that I filled in on. Let me just check them. So back on the spreadsheet. So on this sheet, I filled in 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So on that one sheet, I filled in 19 boxes, but they're not taxing boxes. They're quite easy to fill in. And then as you go, like I said, even on the business expenses, you can fill as many of them in as you want, or just put the total in at the end of the year. And it doesn't matter what box you put it in. It does change this little graph here as we go, but it calculates your annual turnover, your daily targets, what you need to charge, the tax that's going to be due based on you getting the 40,900 and where you currently are for the year as well. So if you ended short of your year, you kind of know that half of that is going to be my payment on account ready for next year again.
Yeah. So you can work it out.
Yeah.
No worries, Dawn. So thank you. we try. Our technical abilities only go so far. I say we. Lee's technical abilities only go so far.
I built this, and then somebody said thank you to Vic.
I know it happens all the time. I get all the thanks, even though Lee does all the technical stuff. It was my idea. I just couldn't do it. It's like I just go to Lee and go, build me this. I can barely use an Excel spreadsheet. Never mind put all the funny boxes in. I don't know how he does it. But yes, so hopefully that will solve a lot of people's issues. Like I said, we get the question all the time, how much should I charge per dog? How much should I put away for tax? This will give you, especially for the pricing side, if you're just starting out and you know how much you want to make, it's going to break it down very simply for you and let you work it all out. You can get it from the store. We also have other things on there, like a spreadsheet that you can use for your tax returns. There's packs, there's courses, there's all sorts on there. We are people of many talents. And the reason we do these things is to try and make it easier for you guys. So we do listen to feedback. We do look at the questions that are being asked. And if there is something that we can build or make to make your lives easier, then obviously 100% we're going to do it. And like I say, for 15 quid for this, it's a no-brainer because it's going to last you forever. Like I said, we will update it as things change. Obviously, the budget. When is the next budget? It's coming up soon because he's on yesterday, wasn't he?
It's end of next month, isn't it?
Is it? Right. Yeah. Well, hopefully. He did say that they weren't putting up income tax, VAT, or what was the other one they weren't going to put up?
National insurance.
National insurance.
And then he also said he wasn't going to remove all of the benefits for the winter fuel allowance for the old age. And he's gone back on that. He also said that they were going to keep the energy price cap the same, and they didn't. Yeah. So I think it's all fair game until we see what the budget is.
Yeah, so he says he's not, but like I say, who knows?
Who knows?
My mum's fuming about the winter fuel allowance. So she gets her pension in January, and she's like, curse him. She's been waiting for that all her life. But no, sadly it's gone. But yes, so we'll obviously keep you posted with that. Obviously, if anything changes that's going to affect the calculator, we will update it and make sure that you have the most up-to-date version on there. If there's anything else you guys think would be useful that you think Lee, the master of Excel, could put together for you, then let us know and we will try our best to make it. If we can, we will. If we can't, we'll just say sorry, we can't. We should have like an app. I think we should like build an app or something.
Vic, I haven't even got time to do all the self-assessment.
I know. Can we build the Pet Accountant app and have like all this stuff in an app form? And that would be good. Watch this space. The Pet Accountant app coming soon. Or like I know some people have apps where you can submit like your stuff to accountants on an app.
We kind of got that because we've got the portal.
Yeah.
That's the similar type
If
of
the
thing.
portal had an app, that would be good.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll ask them.
So
Please
no,
make an app.
so is now a good time to put prices up?
It's a very subjective question, that, I think, because everyone's going to be different. You know, some people put their prices at once a year, some people do them twice a year on the same date, so the customers know, oh, they're going to have a price increase in April and October. Some people don't put their prices up ever, and then some people are a bit reactive with it. I think only you really can answer that question.
I think for me, that all boils down to how well my business is doing and whether or not I feel that my prices have increased to the point of where I've got to pass that along now. And the longer you delay passing that along, the less money that you're going to be able to extract from your business. Now, as accountants and, you know, working with all clients within the pet industry, my gut feeling is that if you feel that you need to put those prices up, then there is no right or wrong time, but you should do that sooner rather than later. Because my goal is, yes, we would like to reduce your taxes and, you know, reduce the tax burden, but ultimately what we really want to do is make you make more money to be successful. So if you're asking, is now the right time to put my prices up, then I'd be saying absolutely it is, because if you're asking that question, you know yourself that there's a reason for asking that, and don't delay with it. Try to remove that mindset of, oh no, what happens if I lose a couple of clients? If you work out what the price increase will bring in extra to you and how many clients you need to lose to make that non-viable, but then how quickly you'll be able to fill those slots anyway. So I wouldn't let the thought of clients leaving detract from putting up those prices. So for me, I would say absolutely still do it, regardless of what the budget is going to be.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. What will happen is there might be a little dip in the economy. People will get used to the idea. There might be a little bit of a shock to the stock markets, but it will recover. And that's the thing, you know. And so just don't worry about whatever's happening with regards to that side of things. Do what's right for your business and you right now.
And again, we get a lot of people as well that say, oh, you know, I've had to close my books. I've got a waiting list of like 50 people. And then I'll say, you know, when was the last time you put your prices up? Oh, I haven't for 4 years. You know, there's a prime time or prime example when you do need to put your prices up. If you've got a waiting list of people wanting to join you and you haven't put your prices up and you're refusing people, then you need to be putting your prices up. Like, that's a good indicator in itself. Oh, Helen.
Yeah. So for me, if you've been doing it for so long and it's always been at that price, then having that conversation with your clients who's paid that for so long, you will find that the majority of them will have no issues in paying extra. And I guarantee you that you will make more from putting those prices up than you will from losing the clientele. And the reason being is because the dogs have formed a bond with you. The owner has formed a bond with you. And therefore, they can risk going elsewhere, losing that regular slot, and they've got to start that relationship building all over again, not with just their owner, but with the dog.
And also, you'll probably find that the other dog walkers are more expensive than you anyway. So all you'll be doing is raising your prices to the level that everyone else is. To give you an example, our friend is a dog walker, and she used to charge £12 a dog walk, and she's put it up to £15 now. And then I think and then so much for an extra second dog. I can't remember how much it was now. But it's gone, I think she went from 10 to 12 to 15, and she's still getting new clients. I know people say, oh, it depends where you live, you know, whatever. I don't think geographics have got anything to do with it. I feel like if you want to charge 15 quid, you charge 15 quid, whether you live in London or Scotland or Wales.
I think with your comment below where you've just said, yes, they charge 15, that to me says that your price increase goes straight from 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Because 100%. Where are they going to go? They're going to go to somebody else that's charging 15.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
They've got the choice there. They either pay you the 15, in which case you've just increased your revenue by a third. So that will have an overnight impact onto your life, so obviously that's going to make a massive difference. And yes, it's going to be hard for people to swallow, but it's about the delivery of how you're having those price increases. So if it's worded in a nice way, whether you, given the fact that it is such a large increase, I would spend the time on telephoning the clients to give them the heads up. And the ones that you weren't able to speak to on the phone, follow up with an email.
Or just speak to them when you get the dog, maybe, if you see them.
Yeah, absolutely. Give them a little bit of notice. Explain that you've been on that amount of money for the last several years, and that it's now come to the point of where it's below minimum wage. You have to put your prices up. Your costs have increased. And whilst nobody ever likes a price increase, unfortunately, I've got to do this in order so I can stay in business, so that I can carry on looking after the dogs and taking them for the walk and spending that time, that enjoyment with them. I'm doing it because I enjoy what I do and I enjoy working with your dog. You're defending the price increase based on the time that you're spending with the animal, with the owner, because of that relationship you've built up. And I swear down now, you will not have very many people that will complain about the price increase.
And if they do, then they're not the right clients anyway. I mean, if you haven't increased your prices for that long length of time, and you're putting them up to match everyone else's, and they leave, then I would just tell them to start off.
And if you are full and you have new people coming to you word of mouth, those new people don't have to have the same prices as your existing clients. So you can actually say, new people that are coming on board, I charge 16 or 17 pounds an hour, because they don't get that long-term loyalty discount that you've offered to your other clients. So you can charge more for new people that are joining your books, which will account for some of the ones that maybe you don't want to take up to the full 15, so that you've got a nice little balance on the go.
A message from Louise: my mate charges £15 for a group walk. I charge £20 solo, and he's scared to put his existing clients up to the new price of £15 from their current £14. You need to tell him, Louise, get him on this group, send him to the podcast, tell him to get £1. I mean, our dog walker, we wouldn't change, because she knows the dogs love her. And for the sake of a quid or a couple of quid, there's no way I'd change dog walker. I couldn't care less what she charged, because I know that her and the dogs have that bond now, and I wouldn't change it. So if people want to argue over a quid, then tell them to get lost. Yeah. It is hard. He's been invited. Good. Get him on here. I'll get him told. It's hard to put any prices up, regardless whether you're a dog walker, groomer. We don't like doing it. We had a price increase last April across the board, I think it pretty much was. And it is a hard thing to have. Yes, we lost a couple of clients because they didn't want to pay. It only worked out at like £2 a month extra. We don't put them up for the sake of, getting money. We put them up because we have to. And in some cases, like, for example, Zero might change their terms and conditions and say, well, actually, we're not going to do this now, which they do on a regular basis, or they put their prices up an extortionate amount. So we have to change it, otherwise we're losing money. I think, I don't know what we'll do next year. I doubt we're going to have an increase next year, but it just depends on what happens. It's hard.
It depends on the economy.
Hard to say. And as much as we would love not to do it, and it is a hard thing to do, and send clients an email, so sorry, we're putting your fee up again, no matter what industry you're in. But like I say, it's all about the delivery, and if they value what you do, then they won't leave. Like you said, we had a couple that left and moaned about the price, but hey ho, go and get a shit accountant. Like, you can pay 100 quid to. Do you know what I mean? You get what you pay for. We're pretty honest and blunt, as you can imagine. But I just think, if you want to go and spend 100 quid an accountant, go and spend 100 quid an accountant. But are they going to do the best job? Probably not. To charge £100, it's not going to happen. On on that
seeing
rant,
less and less of those around now. So
we are, and
even the lower
again,
end is starting to
it's a
creep.
mindset. Even Tegan had a conversation with someone and they said, oh no, I'm paying X amount to this person and X amount to that person. Oh, I don't know if I can justify paying 30 quid for an accountant. And I'm like, but an accountant is what's going to help save you money and grow your business. They are the key person to have in your back pocket if you want help with pricing, growing your business, getting out of debt, managing your money. Like, that is the person to have in your back pocket. So you should fully justify the expense. I haven't had one of those rants for a while, but yeah, it came in my head. So get an accountant. They'll help you, whether it's us or someone else. It doesn't matter. They will help you. But none of them will come up with tax calculators.
It's important, though, that we stress here that you need to reach out to the accountant, because it doesn't matter whether you're with us or with somebody else. We can only help if we know, and we haven't got this crystal ball that says, oh, so and so needs help this week, and it then comes out of the blue that you didn't do this or you didn't do that, and it's like, well, we've gone back through all of the audit logs to have a look at the emails, the text messages, anything along those lines, to see at which point that person asked for help or advice or guidance, and there's nothing there. So if you are with an accountant, if you are with us and you are struggling, or you're confused, or you don't understand something, or you want to know what would be best for your business, send a quick email. Just ask. Because that will start that ball rolling. It'll open up the communication. It'll give us an opportunity to have a look at what it is that you're doing and see if we can make any pointers or suggestions to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be. But we need to know about it to start with.
Just as a side note to that, if you ever do want to get hold of me and Lee, we know we have, I don't want to call them like reception because they're not, but we sort of have like receptionists, which we didn't prior when we were alone. And I know people don't like that. I've had a couple of whinges. If you want me or Lee directly, just email us. Vicky@thomasandclark.co.uk, Lee@thomasandclark. You don't have to go through the gatekeepers, bless them. They will pass the call through unless we're like knees deep in a tax return and we don't like to be disturbed because we're like on it. But 9 times out of 10, if you need us directly, we are always here. Just email us directly or just ask the girls when you ring up, look, I really need to speak to Lee or Vicky. Please, can you get them to ring me if they're not free? And we will always ring you back.
What it is about, because it could well be that we have somebody in the business that's actually better suited to help with that query. So if you said, oh, I want to speak to Lee or Vicky about a payroll, something or other, then actually Jodie might be the best person, because that's what she does. She's the payroll manager. We can say, well, actually, ask Jodie to ring them back because she'll be able to answer their question probably easier than Vicky would. So
not be nosy bitches.
We're not avoiding it, but what we're trying to do is get you the best advice as quickly as possible from the right source.
It's like when you ring the doctors and the receptionist goes, well, what's your problem?
What's wrong?
And you don't want to tell them that, you're ill. We're not being a hospital doctor's receptionist. It's only so they can point you in the right direction. Like Lee said, it might be that there's someone available that can answer the question if we're not. They're not just being nosy bitches. Or they might be. I don't know.
They might be.
They might be just being nosy.
Tegan and Nicola both love to talk. So if you do get them on the phone, you'll probably struggle to get off the phone because they'll both talk the hind legs off a donkey.
Yes.
So
But yes, please don't see them as gatekeepers or receptionists. They will put you through for free. We're not, going to just palm you off. Or just email us directly. It's always a good shout.
I think it's important as well is that we have team members that actually work within the industry with you guys as well. So Tegan actually run her own dog grooming business. So she's able to relate to a lot of the people or a lot of the calls that we get. And while she may not have the accounting knowledge, her understanding of the business, the day-to-day grind of what it is that you're doing, she's invaluable for. And that wealth of experience of when she speaks to people on the phone, we actually get people at Crufts now coming up saying, I want to talk to Tegan. We're like, we don't care
who are you?
Tegan.
Someone did that at Crufts. They're like, who are you? And I was like, I just own the business. It's fine. You can go and speak to Tegan. I'm just her admin. Yes. Please get your stuff to us. The deadline is fast approaching. I'll put this on. Maybe you've had a call from Nicola. Who knows?
I was going to say, yeah. We call her Kneecap Nicola because she does our Nicola for us.
Yeah.
So if people are behind on payments or we've got a couple of reminders go out, we get Kneecap Nicola onto the case, and she just rings up and politely asks for payment and
yeah, give me your money.
but she's going to be nice, Nicola, over the next couple of days, and she's going to be ringing clients, just reminding them about the self-assessment deadline, checking to see whether or not you need us to do the self-assessment, when we're looking to expect the records, just so that we can start to plan the work as we get busier and busier, the closer and closer to this deadline that we have.
Again, we're not trying to be annoying with the emails and the calls. It's because we want to get it done on time for you and give you enough time to save for that tax bill if you haven't done. So again, you'll get a lot of accountants out there that will just not speak to you, and then you'll get to March and think, shit, I didn't submit my tax return. Why didn't you ring me? So we can't win as accountants. If we don't email you, we get told off. If we email you, we get told off. But we try and have a happy medium of only contacting you like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. But as it gets closer to our deadline, which is the end of October, just so that we can make sure we get everyone's in on time and it's done, and it's not, we don't want to rush them. We can sit there and go, all right, we're done. And because we're rushing to get it done on time, we don't want to do that. We want to afford the time to get it done properly and make sure that everything's in there. So yes, we might be slightly annoying with the emails sometimes, but it's just because we're trying to be proactive that stuff and not just leave you to your own devices and just speak to us whenever.
I think it would be worse if we sent an email out in January saying, guess what, at the end of the month, and we don't have time to do it.
Yeah.
So that would be worse than us now saying, look, give us the records. Let us get you on the list so that we can start it, and then that it's been done. You don't have to pay it until January, so that doesn't change. But the fact that it's been finalised, submitted to HMRC's got it. If you do a tax rebate, well, we can get you that money before January. Yeah. So there is benefits of getting us to do the records and getting us to do the tax return well in advance of the 31st.
I did get someone a $3,500 tax rebate the other day, just saying.
We're doing quite well because I did a $2,000 as well this week. So actually that's not bad.
There you go, $5,500 we've got people back in tax. So again, really good. And that is another benefit of having an accountant. We can get you money back from HMRC. Yeah. She was that shocked. She called me. She was like, I don't get it. I was like, no, I know. It's because they owe you money, not the other way around. Oh, fabulous. So
I had one client call and say, how do I pay this minus whatever it was? I was like, no, that's money that they're going to give you, not what you're going to pay them. She said, my banking app won't allow me to put the minus figure in.
Yeah. Don't do it. Or someone did once send us their tax money and we're like, oh, $3,000. Oh, lovely. And then they showed, oh shit, wrong bank. We did give it back, just FYI. Is it too late to join for January tax year? I'm not technical. You can join us anytime throughout the year. Just give us a ring, or if you can put I think we've spoken to you before, so just give us a shout, speak to Tegan, Tegan at thomasandclark.co.uk, or ring the number that's on the top of the group, or I'm sure Lee's about to put it on the banner. And give us a shout. And you can come on board anytime. You should.
There are times of the year that we do close the books,
which we're getting close to.
Generally, yeah, which is why I mentioned that, just because the closer we get to January, the more workload we have, which is why we're encouraging clients to get us the stuff now, because there comes a point where we have too many self-assessments left to do.
We like to help people in January. So the more organised our clients are, gives us more time to help those that maybe haven't been as organised in January and want us to do it. If we can't, then we just have to close the books, because obviously our priority is our clients that we've got now. But yeah, so it kind of, we open and close them as we go through, but it's getting to that closer to the point where we probably will close them at some point.
And you might find that it is that start-stop with them. You might find one week we say our books are closed, we'll get through a batch of the self-assessments and we think actually we can take on a couple more because there is capacity. We'll open them up for maybe for a week and they'll close them again. And that will generally happen from Halloween onwards, because that's when we know how close we are to January with the numbers that we've got.
And we still have a lot to do. Scarily. So when I come and do a live in January, I'll probably all be grey, because
you might find that the live stop in January.
Yeah. Well, yes, that is true. We'll be a lot less lively. You should have a league showing how much you save. So we should have a table of all of us and see who saves the most. Maybe we'll think about that next year.
Like a tax saving cup, and then we give it to like the accountant that saved the most money throughout the year for the clients.
Yes, we will do that from next April. I probably think I would have won so far, just saying. Although I did save someone 14 grand 2 years ago, so I feel I definitely would have won that year. But yeah, there we go. Yes, we'll do that next year. That's a good idea, and we'll display it every month. We'll see who's winning. Yeah, no worries. Just give us a shout when you're ready and when you're back off your holiday. That's fine. Tegan's always around. You can book a call in with Tegan via the website. We should get a link on the group somewhere, but I don't know how we'll do that. Maybe we'll have a look. But you can book a call with Tegan through our calendar on the website. So just go and have a look. If you want to speak to me and Lee, then again, like I said, just drop us an email. It's just Vicky or Lee at thomasandclark.co.uk. And we can get back to you with that. And yeah, that's it, I think.
Grand.
Done. 50 seconds on the hour. So no technical difficulties, apart from I forgot to share it in the group. So apologies for that. And all of these do go on the podcast at some point. So this one will probably be up next week. So they do go on there. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, it is the Pet Accountant Podcast. And these lives go, all the way back for the last 12 months. There's loads. Linktree is great for getting everything in one place and linked to your social media. I have got that, Louise, on Instagram, but I don't have it on Facebook. I don't know how we do it. We'll figure it out.
We'll have a little look.
But you can go on the website and book a call with her anyway. But yes, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying?
You're basically saying that's it for this week?
Oh, right, yes. Well, that's it. So we will be back. Next week you're not here, are you? Because you're on a busy holiday. But next week I may have a special guest joining me just to keep me company next week. So watch this space. I will put it up who it is near the time. But we'll be back at the usual time or Wednesday at 1:00. If you've got any questions, let us know. Keep using the group. And like I say, if you want us to make anything, let us know. But hopefully you all enjoy the calculator. Let us know how it's working for you. Give us some feedback.
It would be great. I think what we will do is anybody that has bought it, we're going to send out an email to those people just asking us to have a little bit of feedback on it that we can share on the socials. Because I think to find out how people are using it and how the impact that it's having would be great for other people to read as well.
It's like the utilities calculator. We always got that question: how much do I put in my tax return for utilities? There's also a utilities calculator on there, which again you can use every year. You only need to buy one. So if you're one of those people that hasn't got a clue, if you're a home boarder or a home groomer, or anything you do at home, then get the utilities calculator, because that will also save you a lot of money, and it has done, because we did get feedback on that one. There we go. Right, I'm going to go, and we'll catch you all next week. Lee will be sunning himself on the beach in Miami, so we can all curse him, and we'll see how good his tan is when we get back. All right, everyone, catch you later, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.